Hello friends, welcome to GT Science tutorial. In this video, I am going to explain about Langmuir-Edzopson isotherm. In my previous video, I have already explained about Freundlich-Edzopson isotherm. Freundlich-Edzopson isotherm is not a very good option because Freundlich did not consider any theoretical consideration as well as he did not give any mathematical derivation. He just considered an empirical relation to explain the type 1 adsorption isotherm. But on the other hand, Langmuir tried to explain adsorption isotherm of type 1 by making certain assumptions as well as by doing certain mathematical calculation. So what is Langmuir adsorption isotherm and how did he prove the adsorption isotherm of type 1? In this video, we are going to see all of these. So let's start. First of all, let's see the assumptions made by Langmuir. Assumptions made by Langmuir. The first assumption made by Langmuir was adsorption is always monolayer. So this is the first assumption made by Langmuir. It is trying to say that suppose there is a solid and that is occupied by gas, or you can say gaseous molecules are adsorbed on this surface of this solid. Okay, now suppose there is a condition in which all the back-end side of the solid are occupied by gas. Now that is one layer, right? So the adsorption phenomenon will stop over there. There will not be any formation of another layer. Okay, so adsorption is always monolayer. This is the first adsorption. The second adsorption is a reversible process. The forward process is called adsorption and backward process is called desorption. So this is the second assumption made by Langmuir. It is saying that adsorption is a reversible process. That means if gaseous molecules can get adsorbed on it, then gaseous molecules can be separated from the surface of the solid as well. So this is a reversible process, and the forward process, that is when gaseous molecules are being attached, is called adsorption, and when gaseous molecules are being separated is called desorption, that is the backward process. Now let's see the third assumption. The third assumption is each adsorbent consists of different adsorption site and heat of adsorption is constant for each site. So this is the third assumption made by Langmuir. He said that the each adsorbent consists of different adsorption site. Obviously, if there is no adsorption site, there will not be any adsorption. So every adsorbent, that is the solid or liquid, consists of many adsorption site where gaseous molecules can come and they can attach there, and heat of adsorption is constant for each side, that is energy required to get attached is constant for each side. So this is the third assumption. Now let's see the fourth assumption. Let me erase this upper part, okay? The fourth assumption is the rate of adsorption depends on pressure and fraction uncovered and the rate of desorption depends on fraction covered. Okay, so this is what the fourth assumption of Langmuir is. Okay, it is trying to say that suppose there is a solid, and if there is more number of vacant site, then obviously more gaseous molecules will be attached there. So the rate of adsorption means gaseous molecules are being attached there. This is the forward process. So the rate of adsorption depends on pressure as well as fraction uncovered. Uncovered means vacant site. So if there is more number of vacant site, there will be more amount of gases adsorbed on the surface, right? And similarly, the rate of desorption means backward process. The rate of desorption depends on fraction covered. If more surface of the solid is covered with gaseous molecules, then more amount of gas molecules can be taken out from there, right? So rate of desorption depends on fraction covered. Okay, so this is the fourth assumption of Langmuir equation. Now let's see the mathematical derivation. Let theta be the fraction covered and P is the what? Pressure. Then 1 minus theta will be fraction uncovered. Then 1 minus theta will be fraction uncovered. Then according to Langmuir, try to remember the fourth assumption of Langmuir equation or Langmuir adsorption isotherm. What did it say? The rate of adsorption depends on two factors. The first one is pressure and the second one is fraction uncovered. And from here, fraction uncovered is 1 minus theta. So we can write like this. Let us denote this rate of adsorption by R1 will be proportional to 1 minus theta, and if we replace this proportionality sign by equal to sign, we must put a constant. Let us put that constant to be K1. It will be 1 minus theta, equation number 1. Similarly, the rate of desorption depends only on one factor, that is fraction covered, that is theta. Okay, so it will be R2 equals to K2 theta. Okay, this is equation number 2, where K1 and K2 are the rate constants of adsorption and desorption process. So I hope you understood this much. We have just considered the rate constant, the rate of adsorption and the rate of desorption. Now let me erase this so that we can proceed the derivation. At equilibrium, the two rates are equal, that is R1 equals to R2. So we just calculated the value of R1, that was K1 P 1 minus theta will be equal to, what was the value of R2? That is K2 theta, right? Now our next step is to find the value of theta from this equation. Now solve. Normally K1P minus K1P theta will be equal to K2 theta, or let's take this value to this side. It will be K1P equals to K2 theta plus K1P theta. Now let's take theta common, K2 plus K1P and theta. Now let's divide this value by this value. We will get the value of theta, that is K1P by K2 plus K1P. Let us consider this to be equation number 3. Okay, we just found the value of theta. Now let's divide the numerator as well as the denominator by K2. Dividing the numerator and denominator by K2, we get, what do we get? Come on, tell. Theta will be equal to K1 by K2P, K1 by K2P divide by, we need to divide this both terms by K2, right? So we will get K2 by K2 plus K1 by K2P, and then we can write theta equals to AP by 1 plus BP by 1 plus BP. Okay, this is equation number 4, where this B equals to K1 by K2 or constant. Okay, this is a constant term. So we just found the value of theta. Now let me erase this part so that we can proceed. We know that the extent of adsorption, depends on fraction covered. Obviously, if there is gas molecules, then extent of adsorption will depend on that gas molecules. So extent of adsorption depends on the fraction covered. Extent of adsorption is denoted by X by M will be equals to, depends on what? Fraction. Covered means theta, right? Let's replace this proportionality sign by equals to sign. We will get K3 theta. We need to include one constant if we replace this proportionality sign by an equals to sign, right? Now let's put the value of theta from equation 4. What do we get? K3 BP by 1 plus BP. Okay, and X by M, this can be written as AP by 1 plus BP. AP by 1 plus BP. This is our required equation, where this A equals to K3B. Okay, this is also a constant. This is also a constant. Here this A and B are called Langmuir constants. Okay, here this A and B are called Langmuir constants. So this is the required expression. Okay, this is what Langmuir suggested. That's why this is called Langmuir equation. The Langmuir equation is X by M equals to AP by 1 plus BP, right? Now let's do one calculation. Let's divide this whole value by this P. Then we will get X by M divided by P equals to A by 1 plus BP. Now let's make them reciprocal. Okay, taking the reciprocal. Taking the reciprocal, we get P by x by m. While taking the reciprocal, we just need to make the denominator as numerator and numerator as denominator on both the side. Okay, this side we did that. Now this side also 1 plus Bp by a, and then we can write P by x by m equals to 1 by a plus b by a into p. Okay, now remember this formula. This formula is in the form, this formula can be compared to y equals to mx plus c. Y equals to mx plus c is the equation of a straight line having y-intercept c and slope equals to m. Okay, so if we compare these two equations, we can see that in place of this y, what is there? P by x by m. In place of this x, what is there? P. Then m, that is slope, is the coefficient of x. Here the coefficient of p is b by a, so this is the slope. And finally the constant term 1 by a is the y-intercept. So we get a graph like this. Okay, this is the y-axis, that is p divided by x by m. This is the x-axis, that is p. Now this much is the y-intercept, and here y-intercept is given by 1 by a, and if we find the slope of this value, that will be equal to how much? B by a. Okay, now by analyzing this graph, we can calculate the value of a from y-intercept form. Okay, we can get the value of a, and if we get the value of a, we can get the value of b by using slope form. So we can calculate the value of a as well as b by using this method. Okay, so these are the Langmuir constant. Now let us try to relate Freundlich adsorption isotherm with Langmuir adsorption isotherm. Let me write the Langmuir equation one more time. That is x by m equals to ap by 1 plus bp. This is the Langmuir equation, right? Let us consider this to be equation number a. Now at very low pressure, this value will be very small, even very smaller than 1. So 1 will be much small, greater than bp. So bp can be neglected. So this bp can be neglected. Then we will get x by m equals to ap by 1, right? This will be x by m equals to ap. Now let's remove this constant, and equals to, we can put a proportionality sign over here. We will get this type of form. Okay, now this equation is trying to show that at very low pressure, the extent of adsorption is directly proportional to pressure. This is in accordance with the Freundlich adsorption isotherm. Freundlich also said that at very low pressure, the extent of adsorption depends on pressure, that is directly proportional to the pressure. Now similarly, at very high pressure, this bp will be so much larger than 1. So 1 will be much smaller than bp. Then 1 can be neglected. 1 can be neglected in our mathematical derivation. Then we will get x by m equals to ap by bp. So these two will be cancelled out. X by m equals to a by b. We can write p to the power 0. Okay, p to the power 0 means 1. So we can write there. So we will get p naught. So this equation is trying to show that at very high pressure, the extent of adsorption does not depend on pressure. That's what Freundlich also said, right? So at intermediate range, 1 by n equals to 1 to how much? 0. This is what he said, right? So here also, here x by m is directly proportional to p to the power 1. There is power 1 and there is power 0. So in intermediate range, this condition will be satisfied. Okay. Now from this, all of this, one thing is very much clear. Freundlich-Adsorption isotherm is a special case of Langmuir equation. Let me write that. Let me write that over here. Okay. This shows that Freundlich-Adsorption isotherm is an special case of Langmuir adsorption isotherm. Langmuir adsorption isotherm. Okay. So this is the benefit of Langmuir adsorption isotherm. Langmuir also tried to explain the adsorption isotherm of type 1 curve. Type 1 curve looks like this. Okay. Type 1 curve looks like this. And we can relate that Freundlich adsorption isotherm is the special case of Langmuir adsorption isotherm. So that's all about Langmuir adsorption isotherm. If you like my video, please share this video as much as you can. Thank you for watching the video.